The single biggest problem with communication is the illusion that it has taken place. George Bernard Shaw is credited with that quote back in the 1950s. I share that because life has only gotten more complex since the 1950s. So if that were true back in the 1950s, what do you think that means about our communication today? We are trying to communicate with people who are of different generations, who are of different cultures, who have different life practices, who have different beliefs, who have different experiences, and we're trying to communicate with them in our lives as friends or in the workplace, and we're also trying to communicate with them in our families. But just because we've said the words, and we've all been in that situation, I told you this. Yeah, that doesn't mean that the message was received, the one that you wanted to be received, either the meaning or the emotion to the message. We spend a lot of time helping our clients think about what their motives are for communication that needs to take place, especially those big conversations, right? The ones that you think about and you plan for, and we even practice sometimes. We do that as well with our clients and really helping them to be very clear. What do you want the communication to be? What do you want to be received? Emotionally, mentally, what do you want that communication to be that other person will receive? Now let's think about who that person is and what they value. A lot of times, especially in families, we've got our boundaries up against whatever that person likes. Well, I don't like that. You don't have to like it, but you have to understand who they are through that lens, and that really helps with communication. A lot of times we think about communication as being just something that we have this one time and that's it. But really, it's the way we live our life that communicates, not the words that we say. I have a dear friend, and we had a conversation recently because her words were not even remotely aligned to her behavior. And what she said to me was, I realize that when you have to choose whether I mean what I said or I mean how I live, you have to choose how I live because that's where my behavior is. And that's true, right? We all want to be known and understood. And sometimes we act in a disingenuous way to how we want other people to see and think of us. So at Memaw Wisdom Coaching, we do a lot of communication and planning and work and thinking about important communications, conversations that we want to have, and help our clients really prepare for those and be prepared for them if they go better than expected, as expected, or not as well as expected. Because your reaction to any of those three can send a conversation completely offline.